Do you ever feel like no matter how much you do, it's never enough? Or maybe you've tried slowing down only to feel guilty about not keeping up with everyone else. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Today, we're diving into the tug of war between hustle and chill culture. Welcome to Good Girl Bullshit, a podcast for recovering people pleasers and modern women ready to shed societal expectations and reclaim their authentic selves. I'm your host, Megan Andrews, and whether you're hustling, chilling, or somewhere in between, I'm so glad you're with me today. For years, I was all about the hustle. I was working long hours. I was in a job I didn't really like. I was saying yes to everything. And I was wearing busyness like a badge of honor. But eventually, my body had enough. I wasn't sleeping, my health was spiraling, and I felt completely disconnected from myself. If any of this resonates, this episode is for you. We're unpacking the tension between hustle and chill and how to find a balance that works. Let's get into it. Hustle culture. Hustle culture emphasizes constantly working hard, often to the point of exhaustion. To achieve excess, you have to hustle and you have to earn rest. Chill culture prioritizes relaxation, taking breaks, and maintaining a balanced lifestyle. What? That's a thing? So a lot of us are very familiar with hustle culture, this concept of being so busy that your identity is comes from it. Hustle culture comes from this mentality that working hard equates to success, essentially. From my experience, that's not the case. Keeping busy and being busy will not bring you success. You will just be busy. Hustle culture is a push to work harder and get ahead by any means necessary, often at the expense of your own self, your self-care, your mental health, your physical health, any other kind of health, maybe even relationships with people, etc. And people really seem to think that this hustle, this overworking, it's very much glamorized with this whole concept nowadays of multiple income streams and creating generational wealth out of nothing. And to me, this is just absolutely gone way too far. People are monetizing their hobbies so that they have nothing to relax. They can't come home and, do the hobby that they used to do. Now that hobby is monetized and it's like you can't go to work and then come home and work and then keep working and then keep up your social profiles and then do all these different things where it's too much. Something's got to give. From my own personal experience, I can tell you that especially if you grew up with pleasing people, and this is a big thing I find that people pleasers become very enmeshed in the whole hustle culture because they're brought up to think if they don't, that they are disappointing other people, or that, even that they could disappoint their future children if they don't start to do something, hustle-ish right now in their life. Hustle culture is all about the glorification of busyness. You're so busy. Hey, how are you? You might text someone, I'm busy. Busy is not a feeling, busy is a state of being, and it is not a feeling or an emotion, but we often mix the two together. And, you have to be busy. If someone's busy, oh, they're so busy, they're so important, they've got so much on the go. Wow, look at them. We should all aspire to be like them. And I can tell you that I fell for this. I fell for this many years ago, as did my husband. And we've really relooked at how we are living and the employment that we have and the organizations that we align ourselves with. And because we were both on the road to burnout. Actually, I did burnout. And my husband was having poor health as well. So for myself, my poor health was I actually ended up like I gave myself some bladder problems, some gut health issues, a lot of skin issues, and I was actually peeing 11 times a day or 12. I think it was 12, most maybe 13. Regardless, that's a lot. That's a lot. I went and got checked out, and my doctor could see how stressed I was. So I find that especially if you're a people pleaser, it's easy to get into this mindset that if you just say yes and take on more, you're helping other people, right? Like you're a helper. You want people to be happy with you and you want to please them. So of course I'll join this committee. Of course I'll come and do this extracurricular activity, or I'll come watch this sports game with you, or I will, do X, Y, Z. So hustle culture is all about this like rise and grind and get up early and everybody has the same 24 hours. And it really, I find, is a very toxic mindset. Not everybody has the same 24 hours. Sure, we all have, count time the same, but many people are already advantaged and other people don't quite have the same opportunities. So when we look at it and say, it's so easy to hustle, why aren't other people hustling? Then you're not really taking into account their life circumstances or the season of their life. Just like the trees and the flowers, like we all have seasons. We cannot be blooming and blossoming and having our leaves be out in the sunshine all the time. No, there is a season. We bloom, we blossom, we flicker, we soak up the sun and we give oxygen, and then it's our season to rest. So this constant push and pull to get up and grind and create all this money and being so busy, I personally can't stand it because I have lived it. It's because I've lived it that I have this experience and I go, it's not healthy. It is not healthy for your mind, for your body. It's not healthy for you to be so busy that now other people are watching you and thinking, if they can do it, then I can do it too. Because what we need to be doing is slowing down. This concept of chill culture, which we'll talk about right now, is a way to still get things done, but on your own time, on your own terms, and none of this rise and grind bullshit that we're fed. So chill culture is a much more relaxed way of living. It's a much more relaxed way of being. It is non-competitive and non-combative. So if we think about the opposite, hustle culture is combative, is competitive, and it just creates an environment where nothing really seems to be good enough. Like when are you done? When is the end? When are you going to be happy? When are you going to finally hit all of your goals? When is it your first $100,000? Is it your first million? I don't know. It's different for everybody, but it's this concept of being busy, so busy and competitive. It's like this, like, I don't know. I think of it like a real bad mental state where I see the people that I know that are immersed in hustle culture and they are obsessed with social media, on the phone all the time, checking what are other people doing? How can I bring this into my life and do this and that and make it better so I can make more money? And I'm just like, aren't you tired? I'm tired just watching you. There's a book called Chill and Prosper by Denise Duffield Thomas, and it really started to make me really think about my own goals, what I want to accomplish in my life, and how to do that. And I'm absolutely going to be taking the chill route. For me, it's not about not accomplishing things, although I do think many times it's enough to simply be alive, get up every day, provide for yourself or your family or your cat or your dog or your plants, whatever it is. You maybe have a hamster, I don't know, but be there, be present, make nice food. And it's more than just, all of your accomplishments or the letters behind your names or whatever's on your resume or, being a top 30 under 30 or whatever. There's so much more to life than being busy and to accomplishing things. Now, I'm not saying to be so chill that you let life happen to you, because I have also lived that way, and that's also not good. You do need to make some plans, but I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. I'm just telling you what I have done to help me to really sort of find balance in my life. I do know that when you don't have a plan and you sort of let other people take the wheel, eventually, as a people pleaser or a recovering people pleaser, you will eventually start to feel lost and like anything that you actually want to do has been forgotten about because you haven't sort of brought this idea to the forefront of the plan. So it is a good idea to sort of assess whatever it is that you want done in life and then act accordingly. So, recovering people pleasers, good girls, tend to thrive on hustle culture because saying yes to everything will disappoint people. So, of course, I'm going to say yes to everything. Being busy is associated with worth and approval of others. So, of course, we're going to say yes and take on more. If you grew up in a family where it was seen that being productive was the only way to earn rest, whether that was sports or academic. You had to sort of earn your rest. And I know that that is true for a lot of people. And maybe I only had that for a part of my life. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not trying to criticize my parents for this, but many people do grow up in a culture that says that you can't rest until you've done all these other things. And I mean real rest, not just sitting for half an hour at the end of the day, maybe watching something to relax your mind, but real rest throughout the day and not attacking a to-do list all the time. Like, I don't know if it's normal if people are like me and they have like 20 different to-do lists, but being chill about it is what I've noticed is how I'm getting things done. Because with my to-do list, if I look at it like a hustle person, like the hustle mentality, and try to get all of this stuff done in a day, I know for a fact that that's going to make me upset because I'm not going to get it done and I'm going to feel disappointed in myself. So, actually, the chill concept in relation to my to do list has actually made me more productive because I know eventually that these things are going to get done. And I have toddlers and I work. So, whatever I can get done in a day is enough. And I have to tell myself this, that there are things to do always, every day, okay? But it's the manner in which you attack your to-do list. I know it's not realistic for me to set these giant goals because I'm only going to disappoint myself because it's the season of life that I'm in right now. And so I just think that people should give themselves more grace, lots more grace when thinking of things that you want to accomplish and know that you do have time and, just start. I don't know if you're listening to this on a podcast platform or if you're watching the video component of it, but for me, I know that if I spend too much time on my appearance or making the background look really nice, I'm going to miss my entire opportunity to get this done and get my voice out and my words out and start something. I'm looking ahead to the future at this podcast a year from now. And that is helping me, this whole chill mentality of, it doesn't have to be a success right now. I have goals for the future, and I'm just going to sort of keep at them slowly when it works. Which is about once every 2 weeks right now is when I get some free time. So if I was trying to start this podcast and had that hustle mentality, I would either have to quit my job, which gives me income, which I'm not willing to do right now, and or completely neglect my kids or my husband or my home life. So I'm just, I guess, using myself as an example to say that you can have goals, but go easy on yourself and remember the season that you're in. Because if you're looking at other people and you're comparing yourself, because sometimes that happens, right? We're all human. They might be in a different season than you. And even if they are in the exact same season as you, well, all of our life circumstances are different, our upbringing, our finances, the support that we have from people, friends, our community, etc. So just go easy. Just go easy on yourself. We don't need this hustle culture to define our lives, our goals. We can take on the chill mentality and still get stuff done. And if we don't, that's fine too. I'm tired of this concept that you have to work to rest. And it's something that I hold within myself, in my head and my heart. And I tell myself every week that it's actually okay to slow down. And that, I don't want to transfer this thought, this mindset to my children who are only 2 and 3 right now. I want to go back to the time when in my early 30s when I was all about the hustle, okay? I was working full time. I was on a number of different committees. I volunteered to be on another committee. I was asked to teach a class. I was training for a marathon. Sorry, not a marathon, a triathlon. And what else? There were a few other components. There were a few other things in there. And what I noticed about myself, because I have because of the culture that I'm in and my upbringing, I guess I was able to I was not able to see the signs that my body was deteriorating and that my mental health was also deteriorating because I was able to override the thoughts in my brain. Oh, if I just push harder, if I just show up more, or if I just, write this document better, or if I just do this or that, or if I give people value, they'll appreciate me, or I'll feel better about my achievements or accomplishments or whatever it is. And I took on too much. I took on way too much. I eventually had to take sleeping pills to fall asleep every night. And even then, I would still wake up feeling totally restless at, say, maybe 4 a.m., and I would have to work at 8. So trying to fall back asleep, I'd maybe get to sleep at 6 and then maybe sleep till 7 and then have a mad dash to work for that 1 hour. Um, so that was happening. My gut health was absolutely atrocious. I didn't realize how connected your gut is to your brain at that point, many years ago. And I just kept telling myself that if I did a little bit more, accomplished a little bit more, was a bit more busy, I'd feel better. And this was the exact opposite. It got to a point where I felt like I hit a wall and I actually could not take one step further. And I would recommend not pushing yourself that far and to listen to your body. I was listening. There were many signs. I saw a few different doctors, an allergy specialist, um, and a couple other people. And I spent a lot of money on supplements and vitamins and different things that I thought was going to help me. And I just thought, I could deal with it on my own. And that if, I took the right pill, it would go away, right? Wrong. I was very wrong. I became very ill mentally and physically, and my body just stopped. It was so stressed out. I said, I was peeing up to 11 or 12 times a day, and I couldn't. Okay, there was an episode of the comedian John Mulaney. John Mulaney? John Mulaney. And he was talking about making up something. I can't remember exactly what he was doing, but he was making up something to tell his doctor. I can't remember exactly why, but what stuck with me is that he told his doctor he was peeing, I think, 11 or 12 times a day. And the doctor was like, "What? Like, that is absolutely bad. That is not healthy. That is not good, John." And I laughed my head off because I was actually living in that moment, living in that situation. And I was also prescribed something that tried to shrink my bladder a little bit. And then this other specialist I saw said, "You should not be on that pill. That is for old people. Like, what are you doing?" And then you kind of get in between different specialists and like, "Why are you on this? What are you doing?" And I just thought, okay, just somebody, I need help is what I did. I need. Um, so what I'm getting at is the hustle culture you can kind of override these thoughts in your brain. You can kind of tell yourself, no, just keep going because this is what we've been taught, keep hustling, keep working hard, and eventually, you'll feel great and be successful and all of that. And I'm here to tell you that that is bullshit. It is not right. It is not wrong, but it's not right. Okay. Maybe it may work for a lot of people, especially if people have a lot of supports in place. But for somebody that does not have a lot of supports in place, um, hustling, hustling leads to burnout. And I see it. I see it with my friends in their jobs, or in their, roles in their families. I see a lot of people subscribing to this hustle mentality, and I do sort of worry for them because I have this lived experience. And again, like I said, if you have supports in place, now let's just contrast some of this health stuff with chill mentality. Had I taken on a chill mentality many, many years ago, I don't know where I'd be right now. I know that it was a good experience to push myself to the limits and have experienced burnout because I don't want to be there ever again. And I've made some lifestyle changes and definitely some work changes, and committees, things like that. There are so many things that I wish that I could be a part of, but I just know it right now I cannot. So chill culture. If I had embraced the chill culture back then, I may have slowed down enough to recognize that these signs that my body was telling me are major flags, red flags. And while I was getting myself some help, I should have probably really recognized what was happening. The chill culture would say, I will get stuff done, but eventually. And maybe that would make me not such a good team member for these organizations that kept asking me to volunteer. What I do know is that being a people pleaser makes you want to say yes to things that you do not necessarily want to, or things you do sort of want to do but don't have the time, the energy, the stamina, etc., to do them or to do them well. So that's where finding the balance, I think, between hustling and chill culture, um, is really key for a lot of things in life. Know that they're going to get done, but give yourself grace. I mean, for women as well, we have periods or we're perimenopausal, or we've hit menopause. Some of us have had hysterectomies. Some of us don't get our periods at all. Like there are people that like there's so many different situations, but many of us are affected by hormones. And so that is another thing that I think about with the hustle culture, and how we always push through all of these feelings that we have. And maybe that's a whole other topic on its in itself is, people pleasing on your period. I know many people know what I'm talking about and how we just don't get the proper rest that we need because of the culture that we're brought up in. So I'm sitting here wondering, what really made me feel like I was breaking free of good girl syndrome and this hustle culture. It was I actually had a breakdown, a big bad mental health breakdown. And I went off work and I was having a very difficult time even just taking care of myself. And that's when I realized this lifestyle's not for me and that I still want to accomplish things in my life and I feel like I'm still a nice person, but the way I was using my energy, I was just going after the wrong things, getting accolades or awards or things like that. It felt good at the time, but now I'm like, it's the lessons that I've learned. I don't put these little plaques up in my office or anything like that. It doesn't satisfy me at all anymore. This idea of accomplishing all these big things, especially for other organizations, I'd rather make an impact how I want to make an impact. And this podcast is part of it. So thank you for being part of it. So, anybody who is subscribing to this hustle culture mentality, I just want to ask you about what is your definition of success? Because everybody's definition is different. And it is fine if it includes things that I wouldn't deem successful in my eyes. So we need to recognize, success is different for everybody, but it's the manner in which we achieve the success is something that concerns me. I want to pose that question. What does a fulfilling life look to you? Is it getting up, rising and grinding and hustling every morning? Or perhaps it's waking up intentionally, a little bit slower, gathering your thoughts without jumping into your phone or a goal. Now, on the other hand, don't get me wrong, I have deep respect for people who wake up early or stay up late and find the time to achieve their goals, okay? I'm not saying don't do that, but I would highly recommend taking on this more chill mentality, knowing, here are my goals, I'm going to set them. but I'm not going to get mad at myself if I can't get this certain thing done today. For example, I wanted to record this podcast a few days ago and I couldn't. My kids were sick and I had to be flexible. I had to just take on that chill mentality and tell myself it will get done because it is on my mind. It's on my list of things to do. But if it doesn't get done today or in the manner of which I initially wanted it to be done, that's fine. Done is better than perfect. So that's kind of where I want to leave it. That this, getting things done is better than being perfect. And when I look at hustle culture, there's almost like this like chase of like perfectionism in it, I guess is what I see and what I don't like about it. It's that nothing is really good enough and that there's no end in sight and that you're just always busy, busy, busy. And what it does is I it really sort of, well, when I say, how are you? And someone says they're busy, I just go, okay, I'm busy too, but how are you? Let's talk here. So it's like it's stopping to wear it like a badge of honor because I just don't see it like we should be glamorizing being busy and hustling all the time. There's more to life than accomplishing things at a high level of intensity all the time. We need to rest, have some mental clarity, and give time for creativity as well. So whether you're in hustle mode or trying to slow down, or maybe you're somewhere in between, remember it's okay to live life at your own pace. It's not about being perfect or competitive, and it's certainly not about fitting your life into someone else's timeline. Give yourself permission to rest, reset, and find balance that really aligns with who you are. Thanks for hanging out with me today on Good Girl Bullshit. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Connect with me on social or leave a review. You deserve to life you deserve to live a life in alignment with your true self, and I'm so grateful to be on this journey with you. On the next episode, we're diving deep into the topic of friendships, how to nurture authentic connections, and let go of toxic ones. I'm excited to be joined by a very special guest, Amanda Pettinger, who will be sharing her insights on building meaningful, supportive friendships. You won't want to miss it. Until then, take care of yourself and keep showing up in ways that matter to you. Bye.